Greetings, internet drinking buddies. My name is Link. The show's name is Tubbin and Chuggin. And as we continue our adventure into Wells spirits, this time with rum, we'll be imbibing Bacardi Superior. Welcome back to the tub, everybody. You know, for this episode and the next couple or so, I wanted to give more of an overview on some traditional spirits for those who might not be as familiar. So I'll create a little playlist for this, and we'll be able to go through some staple spirits, lower end, rum, vodka, gin, maybe some others. That way we all have kind of a baseline on what to expect from a spirit before we go into a review for a different one. So preamble aside, let's get into some basic info about Bacardi. What we have today is Bacardi Superior, which is a white rum that they produce, they being Bacardi, a company founded in 1862 in Cuba. Does not currently exist in Cuba, is more widespread than that now. However, given that it is one of these things that won an award a long time ago and is sort of, you know, not as good anymore, I figured the Pabst Blue Ribbon shot glass was the one to go with on this one. Now, the Bacardi is, as we've said, a staple traditional rum, so it's going to be 80 proof, which is 40% alcohol by volume. You're going to be able to find Bacardi Superior for about $10 a fifth, about $15 a handle. So not going to break the bank at all, but is what you're getting for that worth it? Hopefully we can answer that. Now, Bacardi is what most people would consider to be a well rum, which if you're not familiar refers to a cheaper and thus more popular drink that bartenders have commonly available to them in their well, if you will. That way, when somebody comes to order a well spirit, it is right there. They don't have to mess around trying to find it. It's easy for them to pour. You compare that to a top shelf spirit, which is going to be more expensive and thus not as popularly ordered, that a bartender has to go out of the way to the top shelf to get in order to pour. Top shelf, well spirits. Hopefully, we've all got that cleared up now. Now, as a well rum, I'd recommend Bacardi primarily as a mixer. You'll notice on the back of the bottle it even says, great for mixing or whatever. You pour this with about 3 to 4x as much Coca-Cola in a glass, you've got a rum and Coke. Very great beverage. You pour this by itself into a whiskey glass or something and sip on it, you're not going to have as good of a time. Now, as a shot, which I'll talk about shortly, having had one of my fair share of these, it leaves a little bit to be desired, given its taste, but it'll do in a pinch. But before we take the shot, let's give ourselves more of an idea on what rum is, so we have some background before we evaluate it. So what is rum? It's distilled primarily from sugarcane molasses, or in certain rare instances, sugarcane juices. And this is distilled into a clear liquid, like we have today, or you can further age it into an oak barrel to get a darker, or sometimes they'll call it a golden rum. Rum is generally characterized by a sweet taste, which makes it easier to mix into an already sweet beverage, like a Coca-Cola, as we mentioned before, to make a rum and Coke. Mix it in with some citrus juices, you make some various daiquiris, or you just mix it in with simple syrup, which is just sugar and water, and that forms the basis of a mojito with the mint. Many different options, very sweet drink in general, so that's what we should expect going into this, and let's figure out what Bacardi Superior actually tastes like in shot form. Now we have a rum here. It's not exactly a Cuban product anymore, but I do feel like Salud is the best appropriate test. Okay, so what do we get from that? Well, the sugar is there. It's not, you know, this a delectable kind of sugary sweetness that you would get, because it is mixed with a burn. And that's one of the issues with getting a lower quality alcohol like rum or vodkas. We'll talk in all of them, but basically the cheaper the vodka is to buy, that means the greater yield that they had when they made it. As such, you're going to get more of the enzymes that are produced by the alcohol chain reaction than you would care for. These are the ones that burn the hardest. When you distill it further and you use cheaper or more expansive processes, you get lower yields, but you get sweeter, smoother tasting alcohols. So, when you compare a rum, a very cheap rum like this, to a lower quality vodka, for example, because vodka in and of itself doesn't have a taste, whereas this does have a sweet taste. Some people think that the sweetness counteracts the burn and that makes it okay. I fall into that camp. Other people don't think the sweetness is that good because it's not perhaps spiced the way they would want it to be or what have you. And as such, you're getting a double whammy of burn and bad tasting thing. So that's something to keep in mind when you think about whether or not you're going to go for rum is, do you like a sweetness that is perfect, or can it be a little bit edgy or more mushy feeling than what you would want from like a well-made cake, for example? All this to say that the initial flavor of sweetness and burn hits you, and with Bacardi and most rums in general, the burn doesn't last for too long. So that's why I say it's perfect for mixing, because the sweetness of a drink like a Coca-Cola or a citrus beverage or what have you is going to drown out any burn that you would get from it, which makes it perfectly acceptable for mixing in various drinks that you can just sip on. Doing it as a shot, it's fine, but sipping on it, probably not the best call. Hopefully that gives you all a decent idea on rum. Bacardi Superior I'm picking on as one of the cheaper ones that I can find, but it's not a bad product. Let me know, as always, what other alcohols you want to see me review, and please drink responsibly.